I am Leanne Stroutman. I started as a CICT in December of 2020, and I was one of the 4 who piloted the program for Sarah. In August, I became a senior CICT.
I'm Anna Loomis Olson. I've been a contact tracer since January 2021, and I love it.
My name's Michaela, and I've been a CICT for almost 11 months. I joined the Sarah crew in early April. It's a pleasure to serve.
My role is a CICT supervisor. I started out here in about September 2020 as a CICT, then just recently accepted the new CICT supervisor position.
My name is Sarah, and I'm a CICT. I've been in this role for about 11 months now. One of my accomplishments was actually being a part of the first Sarah Alert team, and I just call people and make sure that they are okay and have all the resources that they need.
My name is Jean Jing. I am a bilingual CICT. I've been working on this project since January 2021. I'm really glad that I am part of this project.
Hi, I'm Susan Black. I am a senior CICT, and I've been with the project since December of 2020.
I know when we're like in a surge and we're really busy with really high call volume, I will forget how many calls maybe I did that day, or specific details. So I do have a spreadsheet I keep on my computer, and I'll just put little information, little tidbits. They all have a case number, so I go by case number, so there's no identifying information, and I'll just put like left a message, I talked to them, stuff like that. So definitely just staying organized so you don't forget things, because it can get chaotic.
Preparation is the key. I always have my LHJ information up. I always have my toolkit at hand for anything that comes up, and any resources. I know what's available for that county. My biggest tip is when you're going through the interview, active listening. You can get so much more information a lot quicker if you just let them talk. When you're talking about symptoms, or you're talking about venturing out and things that they do daily, if I just kind of sit back and let them talk, I can probably get about 90% of the symptoms, and then I definitely go back in and say, well, were you also coughing? You had said you were congested, were you also coughing? But so I definitely make sure those blanks are filled in. The blanks become a lot less by just listening to them. I have a very high rate of getting contacts. You'll hear kids in the background. You have some kids. Boy, they sound like they're really busy. How many do you have? Focus it in and tunnel it into obtaining the information that I need for those contacts.
It's just like I do it. I really do it when I do the job. But when you in the case, when you're on the phone with them, you have to, sometimes the phone call could last long. So you have and when you're on the phone with them, you have to make sure that they feel it for real. Oh, everyone say you should have to listen to them. Oh, yeah. How you listen to them is different, right?
Some cases are in more of a hurry than other cases, saying like, I'm so sorry, let's just get through this, and making sure that they know that you're trying to make it as quick as possible so that they don't feel like they're just waiting on the phone and nothing's happening. Dialogue as you type things so that you're not leaving a blank space. Mm-hmm. The tone of voice that you use with your cases is really important as well. A lot of times if you ask for their vaccination dates, they'll say, oh, okay, yeah, let me just go get my card. And then while they're off getting their card, if you breathe and examine your tone and like how you're speaking. If you're speaking in kind of a rushed way, maybe a little bit anxious, that'll make them anxious. Efficiency is not only doing things in less time, but also making sure you don't have to do them twice. So I like to write myself notes during the survey. So for example, at the beginning of the survey, you can see what county they're in. So like if they're in King County, I'll write myself a note about King County. If they're in another county like Clallam or Skagit that has different things that you need to remember. Another one is like if the case has household members, I make a note to myself like has 4 household members, so that when I get to the contact section, I make sure to ask about the vaccination information. I like to give that right when I ask if they have been vaccinated and they say that they haven't. I know that some people maybe wait till the end of the survey, but for me, it's been effective to give them that guidance right when I ask the question and then offer to send it in a text message.
The two strategies that work the best for me is always having Google Maps open, especially when you get to the job tab, the facility tab, even like the education or even travel, just having that open so you can quickly pull up the address, because a lot of the times the cases don't have the full address, and just actively listen. If you're like, when you're talking to a case, oftentimes they'll give you more to the question that you're asking, and you can use all of that information to later put it in.
First, what I do is I take a minute or two to learn about the person that I'm calling by reviewing the existing information that is in Press Portal. And then I approach every call as an opportunity to have a conversation with a person who wants to share their experience. When you do ask people who are ill to share personal information, it's so important to treat them with kindness, respect, care, and to really listen to what they have to say. If you really listen to the person, you will learn so much. It also helps to understand the interview thoroughly, as well as the reasons for the questions, and that does take time and practice. But once you know the flow of the interview, then it's easy to have a conversation.
The first thing I do is I use a dry erase board for each interview. So I wrote down what I call notable events. If you're speaking to a proxy, have you made demographic changes? Do they have resource needs? Have they worked during contagious period? So when I go and write stuff into the call log, I know to look for those key factors. Go through the interview a few different times just to make sure those key things are put into the call log at the very end. Several resources that I use is the check-in post for protocol updates, especially for county changes. That's one of the very first things I do every morning. Also, another resource that is local health jurisdiction, LHA quick guide after the interview, just to make sure you have all those protocol updates in the call log are super essential. And then additional resources that you can use are the companion quick guides and the search cheat sheet, and when you're in doubt, you can always ask someone.
Call logs are a very important part of the interview. I've developed some useful and descriptive phrases. So here's an example that I might include in a call log note. The case is a minor, and it requires permission from a parent or guardian to do the interview. But I try to write call log notes in such a way that if a person who is not familiar with our work reads them 6 months from now, the notes would be clear, concise, explicit, and make sense. And I also check my work at least twice before I submit it to make sure it's complete and correct and captures everything that we discussed. I keep a template of commonly used phrases. I always make sure that those apply to the circumstances at hand. Check to make sure that it represents what I'm trying to say, and if it doesn't, I modify it.
To prevent the burnout, I learned to cut it up. And that's why I can continue the next day and totally fresh. When I need to relax, go watch a movie. Go out, go jogging, playing, cooking, do whatever things you like.
Just taking time for yourself, remembering to take both of your breaks, remembering to take your full lunch. I'm the type of person that'll feel guilty when we have such high call volumes, but it's super important that we do take those breaks. Go outside, get some fresh air. Taking time to focus on you and self-care is super important. Just doing something that will kind of calm you down or calm your mind and have you refocus. So I'm the kind of person, if I stare at this screen for too long, I'm gonna feel like a zombie. So I like to look away. After every call, I need 30 seconds to look away. I drink a ton of water. So rather than keeping my water next to me on my desk, I like to keep it just in the other room. So I have to get up between each call, walk in there, and I see something different. And then when I come back, it was like this mini break. Then I come back much sharper, better at my job.
When a call is really rough, take a break, get out of your chair for a little while, do something that you love, or talk to somebody that you love, moving your body a little bit, doing a little bit of stretching, and then just remembering, why you love your work, why you're helping people, just remembering how many people that you've helped.
work that we do is stressful and it can be challenging at times. I think it's so important that when you are helping other people, that your own self-care has to come first. You can't help other people if you don't help yourself. For me, self-care takes place in many forms, in yoga, in meditation. Sometimes at lunch, I'll just pop into my bedroom and read for 20 minutes, taking a pause sometimes and breathing. I also like naps after work and hot baths. I'm always willing to take time for myself because I know then I can come back to the work and do it in a good way for the people that need it.
So I always become organized before I come into work, just making sure stuff's kind of set up so I'm not panicking or someone needs something. I'm already prepared. In the event that if I have like a stressful call or something stressful, whether it's something that happened at work or my personal life that pops up, I always remind myself, be kind to myself. I'm not alone. I talk to coworkers constantly, letting people know, hey, it's okay not to be okay. Lastly, take your breaks and lunches away from your computer. Go walk away, enjoy that time, and just decompress.
I take time when I have to. Take 5 minutes, have a good cry, splash some water on your face, and I'm better. That's always cleansing. Getting outside, sometimes just getting away from my computer is good. I also tend to be productive. So if it is a frustrating call that gives me extra energy, doing my dishes, throwing laundry in, doing something that is not work related, but helps at the end of my day make things more complete, those are how I manage stress.